our business model of Power Partners is making these strong connections with people who can give each other repeat referral business. And as people start to work with each other, I realize that these connections take time to build, and especially in the B2B market where the cost of the service is significant and it could be more complex. So that's why we want to have partners that work with each other. I've been working with Arlene Moran at Option One Care. We set her up with a in-person lunch with about 20 to 30 doctors and nurses at Optum in Los Alamitos. So that was helpful to her in the sense that, we can get repeat business out of referrals from those doctors and nurses at Optum. And so that relationship with Arlene, I've known her for a long time, and we just started to kind of build it out in a business fashion. So, as an example of a B2B power partner, Arlene and I are just getting started. Hopefully that you guys can share some examples of ones that you're doing, but I wanted to bring up another one that we're doing with Johnny Garcia here as a power partner connection between him and Deborah and myself in I Trust Marketing, where we're promoting his AI services to our clients and beyond, because we see that AI is going to be a very transformative technology, just like the internet was, just like, I also equate it to, websites when they first started, email marketing when it was first starting. People are wondering about it and how they can use it and how it works for them. So in this Power Partner Connection on the marketing side, we want to work with Johnny to set up webinars, set up in-person webinars and seminars to explain it, because I think a lot of people are still wondering how it can help their business, much less the terminology, what it is, how it works for them. And so, I'm happy to say I sent a done deal yesterday that we had worked together on our first client, right? Other than Power Partners, Johnny. So we are going through those setup processes and making it work for that client. I invited him today, but I guess he didn't show up. Do you want to add anything to that, Johnny, at this point with working as a power partner, the arrangement?
Yeah, so for those of you who've been on these over the last few months, you know that I'm like a broken record when I say that I think AI is transformative, but I struggle in trying to explain it to the small business, or the medium-sized businesses, which is kind of our target audience. They just don't A, understand the technology, or B, understand the benefits it can provide. So partnering up with Alan and a few of the other power partners have really allowed me to get like a business insight of how they see it, how they understand it. And honestly, partnering up with Alan and Deborah and having them be able to kind of like be my liaison and explain it, because I'm a tech guy, I'm a code monkey. I get too technical and I kind of go over people's heads. So it's been a real benefit to work with the power partners here to understand what I'm building and how to describe it, but more importantly, working with Deborah and Alan to have them guide other clients and explain it in what I call, normalese, because apparently I'm not normal.
Well, and we've done this before for in the tech world, and so we're excited to work with Johnny on this. We'll come back to that. We can show some demonstrations of what we're doing with power partners and the improvements that Johnny's made so you can see what it's doing today. On top of that, I wanted to reintroduce Tatondra Grant, because I was talking to Tatondra before the meeting. Just we want to have Power Partners. We want to have like an in-person meeting of members, kind of like a CEO meeting where we can learn from each other on where we are, what works for us, how we can learn from each other to answer other people's questions, but using Tatondra as a moderator and her leadership training skills to help guide us and make that a very productive meeting. Does that sound like a good idea, Tatondra? Is that something that is up your alley?
Yeah, I'm absolutely on board with doing that with the team. And it
Okay.
would be great to have an opportunity to connect with all of you guys in person as well.
Yeah. So that will be our next in-person meeting. It's already June. We haven't had any in-person meetings this year, but we've been accomplishing a lot on the back end of things. So now it's kind of back into getting in front of our people in person. Now, why don't we go around again and kind of talk about some of the power partner connections that you've made or the work you're doing together? How are things going with that so that we can update each other on that? If Jim and Candace, do you guys want to start?
Well, sure. I've been very pleased with the work that we've been doing with Candace's group and Daisy May. Daisy May is a real pistol, hard worker, and beginning to produce some positive results. We've been at it for, I guess, 3 weeks now, maybe 4 weeks, and beginning to build an inventory of contacts. And I'm looking forward to the next, well, through the summer anyway, and see how it goes through September. But so far, I've been very happy with the way it's working.
Can you kind of give what's the strategy, the goals, what's the tactics you're doing with Daisy?
Okay, she's doing email marketing through the Sales Navigator. Or she was doing Navigator. We learned that Navigator only allows you to do 50 contacts a month. Who knew? And she burned through that pretty quickly. But now she's got all the contacts for the market that we're trying to penetrate, which is the estate planners, financial planners in the States. She's found some good people in Canada. Unfortunately, we can't do much with people in Canada, but she's working that list that she's able to scroll through using the Sales Navigator to find the suspects and then going after them with an email campaign. And we're getting some good conversations with the people that we really want to connect with.
Great. Candace, do you want to explain how you set that up with Jim?
Of course, thank you. So yeah, basically how we set everything up was I had a meeting with Jim, find out what exactly his needs were, his business needs, finding out what would benefit him. One of the things that he mentioned was that he was paying for LinkedIn Sales Navigator and wasn't using it. So that's, a huge somewhere, should I say, that he could definitely benefit from having somebody that's able to reach out to contacts. So what we did was we sourced candidates that were highly experienced with Sales Navigator and then had the experience of, reaching out, doing email campaigns, things of that nature. And so then we went ahead and had him, we provided him with, I want to say 4 candidates, actually maybe 5 candidates. Typically, yeah, typically we do 2 to 4 candidates. He interviewed them and he ended up going with Daisy. And then, yeah, so basically, he set her up with his LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I do check in on her and say, hey, how many, have you made any appointments for him? Have you, and not only do I ask her if she's made appointments, but also have those appointments shown up because that's important too, right? So yeah, that's basically, and we could do the same thing for anybody else that's interested. Obviously, Daisy has a client already, but at a different schedule, she would be available as well as we have multiple other VAs.
Yeah,
Right.
let me just follow up on that, Candace. The 5 interviews, it was pretty interesting. We spent about 10 minutes interviewing one after the other. And so they were all really good candidates. And, how did I pick Maisie out of the whole thing? I just liked her style, but all 4 of them had the energy, all 5 had the energy and the technology to be able to make the program work. And it's working. But I wouldn't have been disappointed with any of the people that we had interviewed. She had a good list of candidates.
That is great. And the reason I wanted, this is the first I hear of it. I'm glad that things are working out because, as we're recording this and it allows us to put it into the AI and share that very quickly as to the process, the results, things like that. So, Candace, as a Power Partner member, are you seeing a Power Partner connection, I guess, with me, or how would you explain it? Because I have other referrals, but it's also based on what I'm hearing here. because Tom wants to hear how it's going. Marcus, who was in our podcast last week, has Sales Navigator and he's super busy. Did you get that referral okay? Candace?
Yeah, I've gotten a few. I was trying to find the unmute. So I have gotten several referrals from you. I know just recently Friday, I want to say you sent one.
Right.
I want to say it was Friday. Yeah, so I will be scheduling that. I know there is I can't think of the name right now off the top of my head, but the person that's only available after 5, I have not heard back from.
Yeah, he's iffy, but somebody
Oh,
like
okay.
Marcus Davalos, if you listen to his podcast, what he does at HP, I know he's super busy. I know he could use the service, but for Guy and Miguel who just came on, wanted to concentrate on identifying who in our network are giving each other repeat referral business. Johnny and myself are candidates for that. Arlene and myself are candidates for that. And just as a business model is identifying the people that can help you get repeat business as one of the things that we want to focus on. Here comes Jack now. And showing up at the meetings is also very good for creating these power partner connections, because you get to get another mention of them. But before we move on a little bit, I wanted to say hi Guy, hi Miguel, and hi
Hey,
Jack.
everyone.
Hi everybody.
Well, Guy is another person that I have to follow up with.
Yeah, I'm back in the country.
Yes.
And it looks like you made it back just in time too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome back, Guy.
Thank you.
Not to repeat what I said in its entirety, but to the people who just came on, is that we want to work with Tatondra to have an in-person, for now, I'm just calling it a CEO meeting of power partners, give and take on our operating systems, how we can help each other do our business better. We are looking for a location to have it, it'd probably include lunch, things like that. So those details are to come. But I wanted to mention how Tatondra, with her experience in leadership training, and would be our moderator, and we would have a very professional, productive meeting in person. Okay. So Candace, do you want to mention anything else about your services or power partners, like in terms of how the network's working for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the network is working very great. I'm very thankful for Power Partners. Not only do, we meet once a month, well, sometimes twice a month, because we do those, what is it called? Is it like the after hours or something
Office
like that?
hours.
Office hours. There we
Happy
go.
hours.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If I was still in California, I'm telling you. But no, so I mean, not only do I realistically, I do look forward to these meetings because one, I always like to listen to what, either newcomers or even get that reminder of, hey, this is what, this is what I offer. So hearing everybody, I think is great. And just hearing that they're doing well, I really like that. And then when it comes to take my tasks, I see all the potential that, the possible collaboration, because if you think about it, most power partners are located in California. I think I'm probably the only one that's not a California resident anymore. But minimum wage in California is what, 17 something, I believe. I'm not sure. But so minimum wage is $17 an hour, and that's probably going to get you somebody with very minimal skills. Your rate with Take My Tasks, for everything from lead generation, appointment setting, calendar management, admin, bookkeeping, project management, social media management, literally the list goes on. For power partners, typically we try to stay between $12 and $15 an hour. And that's guaranteeing you candidates that are experienced in the tools that you're looking for and experience in the field. So not specifically like the field, like let's say if you're plumbing, they may not have worked for a plumbing company before, but they may have. But what they have is the customer service behind it. They have the experience that they've worked, either using specific tools or CRMs, things like that. So they come in to help maximize your business. They don't come in for a long, extensive training period. And you're already going to be paying less than you would pay minimum wage somebody that's probably cut right out of high school. So that's just a little something that I want to throw out there.
Right. And a quick question is, what is the kind of the time, the setup time between the time somebody decides on using a VA and getting them in? Like how long did it take you and Jim to get started?
Yeah, so typically it all does depend on the exact job description, but we do try. So from the day that you sign and pay your agreement, we try to fulfill that role within 10 days, 10 business days. It can be give or take a little bit depending on the role, of course, but that's something that you stay in the loop. I make sure to keep you in the loop, letting you know where we're at in the timeline. On our end, actually, every time we move forward any step, because we have several steps on our end, you receive an email letting you know where we're at in those steps, letting you know what the next step is. So it's very detailed. So you're
Okay.
never guessing what's going on because you already know what's going on.
Okay. And then what about the lag time or the sales cycle on your side? Like, I know I've been like hinting at doing this for a long time, so it's been months. Is that typical of people before they decide to start with you? It takes them a while, or is it take a lot of follow-up on your part?
It depends on how ready they are to move forward. We have some that literally from the moment, it's an immediate introduction. We'll do a Zoom maybe a day or two later, and then they sign either that day or the next day their agreement. We have some that it does take that they just want information at first. There's others that, it just depends. Let's see. I saw a question come
How does the
in.
accent have a bearing on the candidate of choice?
So you get to, so one of the things that actually I did provide Jim with was not only the resumes of the candidates, but also audio recordings. So if there were any of them that he were to say like, oh, I'm not really feeling this accent or something like that, like they can't really I can't really understand them or something along those lines. For one, that's not going to happen because we make sure that there is no language barrier. There is going to be an accent, but we make sure that there is no language barrier. So the candidates that, again, if they're going to be doing any kind of voice or anything like that, we make sure that we send audio recordings.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Candace. Thanks for the question, Vince. Let's move on to Tatondra. She has to leave at 11:30 pretty soon here. It's been a while since we've spoken. We still have to do our podcast like we discussed. Just kind of give us an update on your business. Can we send you referrals? I have some people that
Yes.
I would like to introduce you to. I wasn't sure. Like, I know you've been out of you said you were out of the country.
Yeah.
Give us an update.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've been out of the country the last month and a half, so I really haven't had an opportunity to connect with a lot of the power partners. I've only connected with two so far, just, going and speaking with them about what type of services I offer and how I can support, but I have not been able to utilize the network yet. I will be back to being able to in about 3 weeks, though. Once I get back from Georgia, then I'll be able to really focus in and hone in a little bit more on connections. But as far as business goes, yes, absolutely. If you have anyone you would like to refer, feel free. I will definitely schedule time to connect with them, meet with them, and talk about what services I can offer. But for anyone who is unsure or don't know what I do offer executive coaching and consulting opportunities. So helping people with any of their HR needs on the consulting side. So supporting from that perspective, if you need any policies, procedures, working, to help you establish, performance management, any concerns you have with specific employees. I'm happy to help support through that. And then also offer executive coaching services to help coach and help employees reach their full potential and help drive them from a leadership perspective. So if you guys are looking for any type of support in that area, I am more than happy to help.
Okay. Well, glad that you're back. Glad that we can, the
Thank
next couple of
you.
weeks, talk to you more about that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to keep it moving because I want to do a short demonstration of what Power Partners is doing on our website to help all our members, thanks to Johnny's services. I'll do that when I bring up Johnny. Vince, how's the latest? And tell us how your Power Partner connections are going and actually your work with Johnny, I think, right?
So currently, Johnny's set us up, and I'm not the quickest learner of how to use the technology, even though he's explained to me where to go, and he actually helped me get on with the links because I was having difficulty even just getting started. But got past that. I have my associate Chris utilizing the system. I've gone and dabbled around a little bit, but haven't. It's limited as far as what regular AI would have because it's geared towards me and my business and what we do specifically. And therefore, there's benefits to that because it will give me information I don't want to have my clients to receive. But at the same time, it might limit some of the options or the answers. I have not experienced nearly yet a quarter of the potential of AI because I haven't been able to utilize it myself to benefit me. I'd really like to get with Johnny to see how Chris is doing and how are we able to do better with the technology, because I know it can do a lot more for us, similar to like Candace and what she could do with an AI by letting them know exactly what you need and then finding that person for you and then solving your problem versus complaining about it. Because that's kind of what I would do is I need this, I need that. But there are answers out there for you between her and the AI. A lot of my concerns I have could go away. I just haven't fulfilled that the steps necessary to make that happen. Being fully transparent here, of course. So
Well, this is
still,
part of the thing about technology is it does take some, time and, tweaks and testing, right, Johnny? It's an iterative process to, especially what you're doing now with your proprietary information. You're using your information, making it available on the front end to clients, I understand, and then on the back end, you can use it, all the tools that it gives, right?
well, I limited myself because we didn't want a lot of looky-loos or people giving bogus emails, but it also limits my traffic and the amount of people that are actually going to be able to see that tool's available. So I need to share to my entire database. We have this available now. It's almost like having me as a personal assistant or me like a AI version of myself. So people can tap into a lot of questions and information that I would normally have to take the time or some of my office to take the time to answer. They can get that themselves from the bot. But at the same time, I limited the usage of it by only having a person give a real email and it verifies that the email is real before they can access the data and the information. So it's more of an awareness and getting the message out to the people. Just like Tatondra came and she's wonderful to sit with, and she shared what she can do on the HR, and we haven't had her back, but we want to and we still will. But at the same time, I needed executive coaching, but my wife and I weren't seeing eye to eye, and she shared with us professionally and more like almost like a counselor that we need to work on what each other's expectations are of each other before she could even get involved in helping us on a business level, because we're like a husband and wife, bickering about this or that, not seeing eye to eye. And if we don't know what each other's expectations are, how are you going to be able to get along doing the other stuff that the business needs? So a lot of wisdom there on her part and, sensitive conversation, but needed to be said. And I'm glad that she was transparent in sharing what she could do, but you need to help yourself before you can have me help you. You know what I mean? So it kind of boils over into the service business. We're doing extremely well, but respectfully, not nearly as well as last year at this time, almost 6 months into it. Our goal was, to do over $1 million, and we did that very beautifully. This year, we settled to just making $1 million. So we're not trying to go for a stretch goal that's unrealistic because we want to keep the momentum up with the people working for us. But the season we're in right now with all that's going on, especially for those who are maybe of color, like my wife being Mexican, there's a lot of stuff going on in her personal life. She's carrying her passport with her, for God's sakes, and she's fully legal, but she's experiencing a lot of trauma and a lot of negativity and anxiety, and that's affecting the business as well and the operations of the business, because my wife's kind of like the glue of what holds everything together. I'm more like the salesperson and everything is possible, and she's more like realistic and let's come to earth and this is what's going on.
Well,
this is a little delicate dance there.
Like, remember that power partners are resources in all areas, not just, trying to give each other business, but make sure that you can utilize the expertise of people. Feel free to reach out to them.
Well, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take Tatondra. Sorry, I'm abusing your name. Angelic Tatondra. She's going to be my mentor, and for me to have the benefit of her wisdom, I have to get things in play. So it'll be a negative before it'll be a positive, but I have to share what my desires and needs and wishes are and focus on getting them. And if I don't, then we find others that can help us in that area, which is where Candace would come in as well. And we still need to take care of the employees because we're up to like 9 And I know when you get to 10, the threshold changes and there's a little bit more expected of you as an employer. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can right, so I don't cause problems for myself with, the various entities that are out there controlling the business. But business growth is a big part of it. If you're not keeping your people busy, I won't have people to worry about. And that's where we're dealing with right now, is trying to keep all the people busy so I keep them employed.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Vince. Good to hear from you. Just keep staying in touch as you always are. Let's
Power
go to
Partners could help me. Power Partners could help
Oh.
me by sharing the word with anybody that has a problem with their plumbing in any way, shape, or form, whether it be electronic leak detection or a camera inspection. A lot of realtors need camera inspections. Discounted pricing could be for the Power Partner or for a referral source, as well as what you have going on where you reward certain people for certain leads. I've not explored that avenue yet, but keeping us top of mind for the services we offer, as well as the simple stuff like upholstery or carpet cleaning that we don't do a lot of, but we're able to do it for people. Other services other than just water damage, if you will, or fire. You don't have to have emergency to call us. We could remodel a bathroom, kitchen, do great tile work, counter work, kitchen remodel. All that's done through us, but our focus is dealing with moisture and moisture-related damage and dealing with insurance claims if you happen to have one, but you don't have to have insurance to call us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vince.
Thank you.
Let's go to Miguel Bravo. How you doing, Miguel?
Hey Alan, sorry about that. I'm having issues with my camera. So for some reason it won't work. But thanks everyone. Hello everyone. Same thing like Vincent mentioned. Bank's pretty going well right now. Things are going okay. I've seen a lot of shift lately in deposits actually, and people actually adding beneficiaries or authorized signers to their accounts because, as Vincent mentioned, with everything going on, unfortunately, with immigration, some issues, a lot of our clientele is being affected by it in one way or the other. So we're seeing a lot of changes when it comes to adding signers or beneficiaries to accounts, or people actually taking the time to actually plan ahead now. So doing things or looking into things they weren't even considering a couple of weeks ago. Now they're actually taking the time to plan ahead in the event that, something were to happen. But overall, we're staying pretty steady, staying busy, still offering, competitive rates overall for those looking to save, and still offering our unsecured business lines of credit up to 100K for the customers who do qualify.
How can we create Power Partner connections for you for repeat business or other ways we can help you at Comerica Bank?
So we're looking for anybody to establish a new deposit relationship, a new banking relationship. For business clients, we do require them to be at least a client of Comerica for at least 120 days before they're eligible to apply for the unsecured business line of credit up to 100,000. They're with that unsecured business line of credit. We don't require any income documents, or there is no hard inquiry when applying for the loan. So it's just a soft pull on the credit, and it's based off of the deposits in the account and just other credit factors, but there is no hard inquiry. So how you can help referring, small businesses looking to switch banks and getting them established so we can possibly get them a line of credit, unsecured line of credit, no collateral required, in about 5 months or so.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Miguel. Thanks for coming on. Let's go to Kelly. Kelly has a lot of news, right?
I do. Hi guys. Sorry it's been a little while.
Gosh.
I did switch to a different company. My current company was kind of born in Newport Beach. It's based out of Roth Staffing. So it's family owned and operated, much better cultural fit for me. So that's why I made the change. We still have the options of assisting with any finance, accounting, and IT needs, but I did shift my focus onto light industrial. So I'm partnering with more warehouses, more different factories, distribution centers, and more focus on warehouse and admin, customer service, sales, things of that nature. I do have something really great that I can offer you guys for free, though, if you're interested. Our company does a really great job of sending out a mid-market kind of analysis of hiring trends, not only in your specific county, so it'll either be Los Angeles County or Orange County, but compared nationally as well. So there's a lot of insights in there. So if anyone's interested, I'll put my email in the chat, but please feel free to reach out and I'll send you a copy of that so you can take a look at it.
Okay. Why was the training so intense? What did that involve for you?
This company is really focused on their reputation with our clients, and then even the consultants or the contractors that they send out, they're called ambassadors. So there's a lot of emphasis on just making a difference to people, not just a, monetary transaction between a client and our services. So just getting used to the new system, and then really making sure that the training exemplified what the company's mission is, and just being able to really represent this company. They're very, very culture driven, which was perfect for me. Didn't really have a lot of DEI or that real true customer service feel from the other position I was in at the other company. So this one it's a nice change. We value ourselves more as a true partner versus that transactional person just to help you fill a role.
And as a power partner, the theme is this is like, creating power partners for repeat business. Have you spoken with, he's not on the call, but Jeff Hakeem, commercial broker, does a lot of warehouse business.
Yeah, I've spoken to him before, but I'm gonna, I'll send out this mid-market report just to everyone on our list if you guys want, just so you have a copy of it. But yeah, I'm definitely here to help and just to answer any questions. This company does a lot of research and market analysis on what's going on with hiring trends, especially right now there's so many changes of, what departments are actually needing people, who's missing out on employees because of the immigration changes. There's a lot going on. So, and it might show some impact to your businesses as well of who's not spending money because of the economy and what's going on with the tariffs and everything like that. So there's a lot of really good information built up that I can help you guys with, and that I can offer just free of charge as being a partner. I don't make money on anything unless we actually have somebody there that's working with you, but I'm happy to share my information just to help you guys out.
Okay. Are we going to be able to do a podcast with you now?
Yes, we are. I would say let's wait till my 1 year passes from initially signing up. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just
Whenever
so there's
you're
no
ready.
issues with non-compete situations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that. Okay. Keep it moving. I want to get back to Johnny here. Nobody leave. Let's talk with Guy. Guy's been missing. And sorry you missed our podcast, Guy. We had it, scheduling is the hardest part of my job. And we got as many as we could on that IT podcast. Were you able to hear it? Are you there, Guy? You're on mute if you are. We'll come back to Guy. How about you, Jack? How you been? We haven't seen you in a while either. How's it going? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute, Jack. Still, there you go.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I apologize for missing. It just seems like when these things come up on Tuesday, there's like 3 other things pre-scheduled that take priority. So my apologies. Happy to be here today. I can kind of share with you a little bit about the interest rate market. Seems like are showing some improvement, at least over the last 4 or 5 trading days. And our 10-year treasury is now below 430. That was a big kind of a milestone. So a lot more room to drop from there. We've experienced the whole industry. It seems like kind of a dead period, like an ebb tide, if you would, since the tariff news came out in April. A lot of properties are sitting now. Properties that were selling quickly are now sitting. And I think people just trying to get adjusted on actually what's going to happen going forward. The market's basically recovered all of its losses and then some. So I think that fear is gone. I think as time goes on, the economy will kind of absorb the tariffs as a kind of almost like a one-shot deal. And I don't think the consumers are going to bear the brunt of the price increase, maybe some of it, but not enough to dissuade a lot of spending. So anyway, forecast, we still think the rates will continue to get better. And how anybody can help me is take advantage of our free, pre-approval process. If anybody's interested in getting into the real estate market, whether it's right now or maybe 6 months from now, you can get pre-approved, actually formally approved through underwriting. have your file all done. So when the opportunity arises, you're ready to go. And your offer is going to be almost like a cash offer because your loan's already done. And we issue a seller guarantee of $10,000 if we can't perform. So it helps. But so that's kind of basically where I'm at. And that's my story.
Okay, well, thanks. It's good to see you. I know I've given you a referral to somebody. I don't know if, like the timing on, like, the question to Candace, people will contact you at when they're ready, right? It might take 6 months. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I urge people to contact me before, just so if there is any issues that we need to straighten out, maybe there's a credit issue that we can straighten out. Maybe there's a bonus coming up. Maybe there's a raise in the future. Maybe there's some coaching I can do about reducing debt. All of those things that we do interact with our clients before they even begin shopping for a home. It's just kind of checking the boxes, getting that stuff out of the way. And these pre-approvals are good for 90 days. And then our formal approvals are good for 90 days. And then we can, freshen them up and make them good for another 92. And again, it doesn't cost anything and there's no obligation. So
right.
If people are interested at all, just to take that first step before they actually start shopping for a home to find out what they can afford, it's really a big benefit.
Well, I want to, come back to the referral because, when I do a referral introduction, and I'm going to make a pitch for Johnny's AI here, I write a detailed letter explaining why you two should connect, so I gave Jack referral to somebody outside the network who was talking about buying a place, but, multi-unit place, but no background on how to do any of this stuff. Right. So I was like, talk to Jack about how to do it, like run some numbers. Is that what you could do for him in, as a coach or as, an initial, hopefully he ends up working with you, but it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, so I call those initial conversations discovery calls. It's a discovery call on my end to find out what they're thinking, what their goals are. And it's a discovery on their end to find out more about me and what I do. And so it's a very easy, soft conversation without really any sales involved. It's just more of an introduction and here's how I can help. This is what I do. And this is how long I've been doing it kind of. And then they tell me, well, this is what I'm thinking. Do you think it's possible? And then we kind of dig from there to the next layer into actual real numbers and stuff. But that discovery call goes a long way of establishing trust and relationship. And then again, a lot of times nothing will come out of that other than people walk away with a handshake saying, nice to know you, thanks for the info. But maybe 3-4 months down the road, they'll go, okay, I'm ready to go. And then they'll call me back again. So yeah, I tell people, don't wait till you're actually thinking of making an offer on a place to call me. Call me when that first idea kind of floats through your head and let me help prepare you. Let me get you ready to go.
And that email that I'm talking about is just like a first introduction. It also requires follow-up from you, follow-up from me again. And that's what we call it Follow-Up Friday, is just, the concept of continuing after somebody because these things take time. So I just don't want anybody to get frustrated. I want people to realize that it's incumbent on all of us to follow up as well as give and receive referrals.
Yeah, you can only chase so hard. If somebody doesn't want to talk to you or doesn't need your services or isn't interested in a conversation, I respect that too. So I'll give it the old college try, but I'm not going to chase them down. I let them know where I am and how they can find me and do the basic follow-up. But yeah,
that's fine when you don't know him, but I know the person. I know he could use your service. So that's what I'm talking about is like, there might be a fear that you're going to hammer him or something, So
yeah, I get that.
So that's all. I just want to, we're all in this kind of boat together. So I just want to make sure everybody is on the same page.
Thank you for that.
Sure. Let's go to Guy. Guy, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back with you. The only thing is I had to head out for another meeting that I have. So I'm driving and talking at the same time. So my video is just going to be closed if that's okay with you.
That's fine. My question first to you is, did you hear our IT Power Circle?
No, I think I was stuck in Dubai or something like that at that time when you guys had the meeting. I thought that I'll be back in the US, but there were too many missiles flying around and too many flight delays. So I was stuck in Dubai on the way back here.
Well, listen to the
we're back.
podcast. Listen to the podcast, and you can, we mentioned you in there. We didn't forget you.
I appreciate that. I will listen to it. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So tell us what's the latest in your MSP services.
Well, I say we've been busy for the last few months, even though I was out of the country. For the last 3 months, I was in Israel for about 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months out of the 3 months. And we've been busy. We have a bunch of projects of mainly moving clients to bigger locations. So those are fun projects. And besides that, I need to speak with that lady that spoke about human resources. She's out of the state. I forgot the name right now.
Tatondra
I think it's
Candace?
No. Yeah, I think it's me because we've talked before. Yeah, we were gonna talk, but you were out of the country, right?
And I'm back. So I'll be more than happy if we can talk either later on today, tomorrow. That'd be great just to understand more of what you're doing and what I need.
Absolutely. I'll send you an email.
This year my goal is building a sales force for the company. So that will be great. Yeah, beside that, we just still have all kind of cybersecurity issues that we are dealing with. Clients that their security need to be upgraded because it's like a cat and a mouse, right? We're always chasing the other guy and they're always one step ahead of us. So beside that, nothing else.
Okay, Guy. Well, welcome back. I was going to say, I interviewed Guy for a podcast. So anybody who wants more detailed information on Guy, go to our B2B Synergy list of podcast episodes. I listened to these, even though I interviewed everybody, I listened to them again more than once. And I always get something new out of it, or an idea or a contact, just it's the best way to get in depth about each of our members that have an episode on there. That includes Jack, it includes Candace, it includes Vince, it includes Johnny, it includes Jim. So we want everybody on there. And then I'll segue into talking to Johnny about how we use that information. So Johnny, why don't you kind of give us the latest on what you're doing and talk to us while I pull up the Power Partner front end portion?
Yeah, sure. No, it's actually going back to Vince's comment about the different implementations that we're going. And this is all, really good feedback that I've received from the different implementations that I've done. That's actually why I created IntelliGauge, because I realized that ChatGPT and all the other like $15, $20 a month ones were too generic, and you need to be very specific to each client's needs. To Vince's point, the limitation of the responses to only use the client's core data, I mean, that is a feature, not a bug. Not saying that he's saying it is a bug. It's just the system that I originally built for them was purposely built by scraping their information from their website, by, if you have any videos, extracting the text from the videos, as well as giving them the ability to upload files that we would then, scrape any information out of those as well, either through OCR or just text, and then taking
Johnny,
all that information.
Can you see my screen okay, Johnny?
Yeah. And
okay.
So that all of it can be put into an AI knowledge database that then the ChatGPT assistant that we have built is then trained to be limited or engineered to be limited to only respond to that data. So that, like, when you go to ChatGPT and ask about your company or your products or services, it's not going to have very many details, if any. Whereas this one, it's going to be an expert in your stuff. But if you want to go outside of that domain, that's where the problem that Vince is running into is that he's now constrained to only his data, because the tool that we built, as he said, was meant for his customers, not necessarily for him to do research. So with that kind of feedback that I've been getting, we're now working on a Prism AI version 3, which is what you're seeing here now. So what we're doing is creating a platform, and rather than trying to create a one assistant fits all, because we realized that that really isn't feasible from the AI perspective. What you need is to create AI experts in very specific tasks and functions or even knowledge sets. So now what we've done is that same knowledge base that we've created. And Vince, I actually did provide this widget to Chris per his request. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this doesn't require the authentication of the email. You still have that link in the back end. That's what the question I had asked Chris. I'm like, are you sure? Vince didn't want that. But he said, no, I want to put this on my front end. I'm like, okay. So I did deploy it for them. But just to let you know, this particular one, although it does, if you can go ahead and clear out of this, I don't see the clear button.
Oh, are you? No, I'm managing it.
Oh, okay.
Are you looking at the screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the back to the login.
I think I have to log in again, but basically what you're saying, Johnny, is like, we ask for the name and the email here in the front to get to this next screen, right?
Yeah, oddly enough, I mean, we have session storage. You don't have the two buttons at the bottom that says send my email or clear chat.
Well,
You haven't told me that.
yeah, as soon as I ask,
Oh, there you
that
go.
question.
All right, so if you hit clear chat real quick. So here's the
go.
login. So just to show you, Vince, this is what they see. Again, it's not verified, it's just captured. But if they want their transcript, they have to put a real email in there. Otherwise, they're not going to get it. So that's kind of like the little entice message that we provide them. And we also let them know that we're not going to sell their information and whatnot. So this is a lead generation tool on the front end. I call it a soft lead, not a verified lead, only because you're right. Someone can put in whatever email they want. However, that tends to be not necessarily a bad thing or not a horrible thing or a deal breaker, because even if they use that fake email, they tend to use the same fake email each time they come back, and they can continue, because what we're doing is we're aggregating all of their data in the back end in the AI and creating kind of like a client profile. So even though we can't reach out to them via email, we still see what they're asking about, and we get that information and put it into this backend that I'm building, which is going to be I don't want to call it a CRM because it's not, and as sophisticated as HubSpot or Salesforce, but it is going to have the different leads that have been generated, and you can like change the status to contacted, reached out, or whatnot. But what's more important is that you get to see trends. So I'm calling it lead insights. Right? So you can see how many leads are coming in, but more importantly, we can see what they're asking about. So you can see what products and at what time of the day a lot of these questions are coming in, and what are people really concerned or focused on. So there's a lot of insights that we can pull from that information. And for example, Alan also is using another tool for his clients called Clarity that actually records their interactions on the webpage. So he can now correlate the chat responses with the Clarity screen to kind of get a better idea of what the person was actually doing, as well as asking the questions as well. So this new platform on the back end that has the insights will also have two other features that I don't have it ready to show yet. I'm still developing it. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of this month. So I got 6 days left. Leave me alone, Alan. So this backend will have two other features one of them will be the content generator, because that's the other big thing people keep asking.
Johnny, before you go there, I wanted to mention on this lead generation tool here, because it's like a 1-2 punch. This is the front end for the client, but we've given it prompts. This one was asking what kind of people are in your network, but do you have a mortgage banker? And the reason I wanted to stop you here is just to show that at Power Partners, well, Jack Sensi came up here. We still want to get his update, but it will happen. His contact, do you have a commercial?
Yeah, you sent me the update yesterday. I apologize. I was busy fixing another problem, so I didn't get a chance to update your
right.
contact information.
But it like Jeff came up here, and well, it was coming up before, but a link right to their post is what we want to get, is their contact information right away. I don't know why it didn't come up now. But one of the suggestions here, instead of type your message, is because it's a question and answer.
Put in the question, how can I contact him?
Okay. But you can, if you're on the phone, you can use their voice to just talk this in. So it should say type or type or, use voice to ask your question. Still not there.
That wasn't
It's-
it?
Yeah, but it was giving like
Oh, you mean the profile breakdown? Yeah.
the
So
link
it
to
is
his
in there. I just got to re-engineer it to say you always wanted to show their profile link.
Right, exactly. So my point here for Power Partners is to say that now we have a way to promote people directly in this conversational tone to find you specifically by category. And it works well on the mobile app and on the
I'm curious. Put in list of power partners. I want to see if it'll list them all out. Probably shouldn't be putting my app on the spot without me testing it first, but hey,
Oh, I did test it before. It was working just fine. I don't know why it didn't do that.
There it goes.
Right,
Oh yeah, but he wants the links. Okay.
right. So
Yeah, I'll change that.
It was working before, but where Jeff's, the link to his account page would come where you get more information about him. But it's more
still
about
working.
also,
It's just decided to do something different.
what's that?
It's still working. It's just deciding to do it or verbalizing it differently. I just got to
Yeah.
change the way it
Yeah,
responds.
and it should, because we updated Candace's DAFCO. When you make an update to it, it should automatically update, right? So let me ask you, Johnny, when we do overwrite some documents or new members take people off, the scraping does that, right? It'll just update with the new information, correct?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things, the way that how AI works and the way that we implement it for both, cost purposes and performance purposes and just, validity of data. So one of the things that we do, look, if you delete a blog post or a web page that had any information on it, the nightly process will check for that. And if it's no longer there, it will remove it from the AI knowledge base and then put in whatever new one it is. However, that will specifically, so the way that most of this works, and I without getting too technical, the AI knowledge database is very big. So we don't want to pass all of it because then you get convoluted answers and you get what are called hallucinations. So we try to pinpoint the information to what we think the response should be and then give that to the LLM or the chat GPT to use as its, context to make the response. However, what we've discovered with people like Alan is that sometimes there is a significant amount of services or partners that you want the LLM to know about in every single interaction in case it has to reference all of it. Because he's got over 50 power partners, and that's not going, and when you ask a question, it's not going to return necessarily, it wasn't returning necessarily all 50 power partners, because that would be a very large amount of data. So in the new backend platform, we've added a new section where we're calling company facts, where you can go ahead and put in there, and this is something that that you can, like, for example, for Alan, he put a list of all of the power partners in there with their contact information. Now, without having to, increase costs or do all these extra things on your guys' side or on your data or create a special web page that has all this information in it, it'll always be in the memory of every single interaction. So we can do things like, give me a list of all the power partners. So the back end, once I have it done, is going to show you, or going to make it a lot more, it'll become a lot easier for you to understand the customizations that we're going to allow you to do to make this platform even more powerful and more purposeful for both the front end example here with Alan's lead generation widget, which is part of the platform. But on the back end, we have a couple of other things, but I won't go into that until Alan's done with his front end widget.
I wanted to show another case use with Murphy beds, right? So
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is another one where, for lead gen, but once again, we wanted to get to categorize of links of, give them an answer, then send them to the actual page. So this didn't happen, but
yeah, it's called live demos. Every time you do it, live things break. And it's not broken. Actually, this has to do with the category issue that I was fixing last night, Alan. I just have to rerun Murphy beds.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get to the point where we're going to show exactly what we're talking about, but once again, it's not happening because this content is good, but it gives you a lot of detail about the answer, but we want to get them to the answer quicker. Like,
Well, here, put 10 by 10 office space with story. I have a 10 by 10 office space. So the other one, this particular one, we've trained it or we've engineered it to actually act like a salesman to get more information out of the client. Because remember, again, in the background, we're building a client profile. And again, the assumption being that they are providing real emails so that we can then, in the back end, there's an add-on feature that you'll have to be able to send personalized emails, on like a kind of like a drip campaign that will send them emails based off the conversation and the specifics that they've already talked to you about to remind them and offer them different kind of, coupons or discounts or whatnot. So I'm very excited to show it to you once it's done.
yeah, this is where I'm getting to, Johnny, is like, okay, so once we narrow down the focus to getting them quicker to the point, it's like, here, I needed an office desk bed, and it points them to these two, and then takes them to that link right there, so they can see that this is a desk bed that would fit their space. Now, of course, this here is one way of doing it, but it's also always pulling from the information that's in their website, right, Johnny?
Yeah, so one of the big feature or one of the big issues or hurdles of what is called RAG AI or retrieval augmented generation, because it is based off of your guys' data. So at the end of the day, your AI agents now become only now as good as the data we provided. So data cleanliness, data scraping, data maintenance becomes super, super important. So that is something that me and Alan, working together, offer services to clean up the web pages, clean up the context. There's different ways to like tag your information because the more information that is available for the AI, the better the responses will be.
Yeah. And these are, in my case, these two cases are like a little bit specific use cases. Johnny, like explain how you've changed your business model to like start with this basic plan, and then I cut you off before you can get into it. It's more than just what I'm showing you here. Talk about the back end or what else you get.
Yeah, so based off all the feedback that we're getting, one of the things, like as I said in the beginning, we wanted to do was provide customization white glove service, which we still want to do, but we realized that because businesses don't know how AI could help them, they were at a loss and didn't see couldn't see the value of what we were offering. So instead, what we're doing is I've built a product. So this product it's a tiered product, and this new tiered product will come with that widget that you just saw on the front end for lead generation. It also comes with the portal on the back end. It has limitations. It's going to be, for example, 10,000 interactions per month, and that interaction is kind of like a bucket of question answers. And any agents that you guys want to add to the platform pull from the same bucket. But so why is that important? You're like, we only have the widget. Well, in the back end, the other options that you have or the other features that you have is you have a content generator widget or agent in the back that will allow you to create Facebook and Instagram SEO optimized posts based off of your proprietary data or your AI knowledge database that you can then copy and paste into your different social media accounts. And then as well as that, you'll have the client insights that will allow you to see who's coming in, what they're asking, the categorization, the timing, and all those things, and the CRM statuses or the CRM like statuses that you can update and change. But you're also going to have a little marketplace as well. And the marketplaces, you're going to have a list of other specific expert agents that you can add on to. So like, for example, if you wanted to write a newsletter, we have a newsletter expert agent that you can add on to for a small add-on per month that would then pull out from that same bucket. So, and then you can have another one that does that. Marketplace is going to be very, significant. Like another one for that drip campaign that we were talking about. So you can automatically send a customized email based off conversations your leads have already had with your system and shoot them out to them using the AI personalization per client. So you're not just sending them the same email blast to everyone, they're personalized all at once, right? So that's a new feature to that you can add on to. And we have a ton of other ones that we're building out that we're going to put into the marketplace that'll be available. But the reason that we're doing just the widget front end and the content generator back end with the CRM, plus all of the administration that will allow you to customize and brand all of your widgets and whatnot and your agents and whatnot, is so that we could put it into a manageable or understandable frame of value, right? So for example, I mean, we're still finalizing the pricing engines, but let's just say for a couple $100, you'll get 10,000, plus for an initial data load fee. And then you'll get 10,000 interactions and those base widget plus backend content generator and the CRM. Then the option to add all these other ones. If you want to add more interactions because all of a sudden your website blows up and you have 10,000 monthly visitors asking all types of questions, I'm assuming those are converting into profit, so you wouldn't, mind paying for more interactions. So those are the new platform, and it's going to be tiered. So you can have, of course, the basic tier, which is limited by the amount of data that we can scrape and import. By the way, that also includes, that base one includes one website up to 1,000 pages that will scrape all the text out of. If you want to scrape any images or PDFs from your website, we can have an add-on for that. We also have a folder that you can upload documents to. And right now for the base one, you can just do text. So it'd be anything that is a text. If you do a PDF, we'll pull out the text from the PDF. Again, if you want to do the more heavy AI stuff, which is the OCR or the content understanding, we can add those as well. Plus any custom agents you want to build out for your in-house staff. So some of the bigger companies have policies and procedures, is one of the big ones that I started this company with. So that's another agent that a lot of these bigger companies really want to add on to, and they can have that in the back end. So again, widget, content generator, scraping one website, a folder you can upload documents to, text documents. If you want to add binaries with like our images or Excels or Word docs, again, those are all little add-ons that you can put on there, and then you get to choose. So with that, for 200, for a couple $100 a month and a loading fee, you get the content generator, the widget, but access to all these other agents and things. And I think that's a little bit more easy to understand how it can add value to your business because of the lead gen capture and the content generation.
Right. And I'm a test case use case right now in how much time it saves you. I know that everybody is using ChatGPT, some version of ChatGPT out there. So they're starting to get familiar with this, but the problem is they don't understand how it can work in their business and how you get that to work in your business. Johnny has solved that problem in that he's got a system that's doing it for you. And you just got to turn it on, right, Johnny? There is some setup, there is some tweaking, as you can see, but the power behind it, I mentioned to Jack, I sent him and I'm timing myself. It took me 15 minutes to write that letter that referred Jack. It takes about 15 minutes to write a good letter using AI that pulls in all the information about Jack and why how he can help Marcus with what he needs and why. So there's a little bit about, a couple of tries to get it right. And then I edit it and put my own touches on it. I time it. It averages 15 minutes. If I wrote that, I would not even write that letter like that because it take me an hour or more. And plus the mind power to use it. I just don't, I can't pull like Jack's contact information just pulls right in. I don't have to think about it. Just pulls it right in. Saves me a ton of time. Otherwise I'm just saying, hey, Jack, call Marcus. The typical like, here, this is a good referral for you. But I'm about giving the reasons why. I'm trying to make a strong reason why to use Jack. And this helps me do that. And that's just one time-saving example. Johnny mentioned social media. I haven't gotten to all the stuff I could do. It's only because it's only me. This is where Candace comes in, because if we had somebody trained on this, we could hire them out to do all the social media content generation and stuff like that for a client that they'd be able to use, because the AI itself just creates so much data and knowledge for you that's usable. Somebody has to just manage and post it. But what frees me up is to do two things. I can go golf because I just created a whole thing using AI. I can go think on higher level things because it's just me and Deborah. We're having to manage everything ourselves. AI is a time saver. That is worth the price that you're paying Johnny. Okay. So I just wanted, Johnny explained a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to explain it over and over in a simplified way to show the value. And as Johnny works out these kinks that are very minor, he's got the majority of this stuff done and now in a package that the average business person can understand and use and see
Alan.
value. Yes.
This reminds me of when Constant Contact first came out and how we had to explain to everybody how to use it. And now with everything that Johnny just said, we're going to, boil it down to bullet points where people can understand it, because Johnny can get technical, and so, and it's, you have to put it in, like I said, in layman's terms, so people can get it and how easy it is to use.
Yeah, definitely. That's the next step for us. So this kind of like a first time announcing this front end, Johnny. I think it's awesome. It is in use. If anybody has any questions about it, you can reach out to Johnny or myself. We'll walk you through it, give you like a full on demonstration. Any questions about that or anything we talked about today by anybody? It's been a great meeting so far. It's like, where did Jack go? Hey, Jack, any other last questions before we close out?
None on my end.
Okay.
And working with Johnny on the Murphy beds, we're also having to, I don't know if you notice on the homepage, Johnny, we're putting little banners to direct people to use, we have to remind people to use the widget. So that's a whole nother
the thing about the widget
process.
The thing about the widget is it's going to be more than like the current chatbots are very static. This one is very conversational. So people will start to use it more and more as they start to use ChatGPT and understand what's going on with all this stuff. So I just want to before we go, Candace, did you have any comments about what you just saw there, or what we talked about is how we can use VAs to help in help clients manage all the content that we can create for their business?
No questions, but I think it's a good plan, and I'm ready to get this show on the road for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because we have you in the back of our mind here for this kind of stuff as we work out the kinks.
Yeah, and like I said, we're constantly coming up with new and different agents. There's another one I think Candace might, not sure if this is, something you'd be interested in, but one of my clients is like, one of the things that they struggle with, I saw this because you guys are talking about accents in cold calls and all that, is that one of the big things is that having that salesperson and having to know what to say and how to respond to every single interaction can be difficult, even for the best of salesmen, right? So one of the agents that we're actually trying to implement for one of our clients right now is, rather than, because they didn't want to use AI to directly communicate with the customer, instead, we're trying to build one where the AI will listen to the conversation, and then and then on their screen while they're on the phone with them, it'll give them text responses or ideas or responses that they can provide to that person to overcome the objection or address the issue, or making sure it's factually correct based off of company policy, procedure, and data and whatnot. So I mean, we could build one where you just communicate with the AI directly. We have that option as well, but this one was a little bit more like, no, we don't want to take the human out of it, but it would be awesome if it could guide the human to give them better responses and better, at least options while they're on the call. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. And I think I can definitely do that. You just got to figure out a way to feed the conversation into the AI live. So that's what I'm working on now. But like I said, that's the difference, I think, between us and a lot of the other, you go to the website and just subscribe to something, is you're going to get the white glove service. Whatever crazy idea you have. I have another one where video generation, they want to create like little mini commercials that they want to post online. And I'm like, we have access to do that too. Let's figure it out. So
Okay.
that white glove service doesn't go away. I'm always going to be available. You can ask Vince or Alan or Deborah. You guys have questions, or you don't like the way something feels, or we need to tweak, which is absolutely going to be the case. You're never going to get it 100%. We're constantly going to be needing making tweaks. That's what I think one of the biggest benefits of IntelliGauge is the fact that you're going to have an account representative that you can reach out to, or have a support structure where you can send reports to, and we will customize our platform to fit your needs. It's not
Okay.
you're going to stuck with our product. It is what it is. It's the other way around. We built this, but we're going to make it wrap around your best needs.
Right. You have the product now. I think it's just, we'll help you get it out there. So let's close it out there. Unless anybody has any last questions, I appreciate everybody's time today. I'm recording this. We'll get this out to people. Pauline couldn't make it. Some other people couldn't make it. But all this will also go into the AI. So anything new that was said is available to me for helping you guys teach other people about your business.
Yeah. And on the platform V3, this new transcript extraction, it's going to be an extra monthly fee, Alan. Sorry to say.
What's that?
I said with the new V3 coming out, the text extraction from the videos is now going to be another fee. I'm sorry to say.
Well, there's ways around that too. With
Yeah, I'm kidding.
with I could put my own transcriptions, and I was saying could save even faster. But anyway, we need to have lunch, Johnny. Me and you need to sit down and just have lunch. We haven't met in person in a while.
Let me finish my platform and you got it.
Okay. We'll take you out to lunch.
I do have a comment. Just
Yes.
want to back up what Johnny's saying is when I called him for a presentation I gave to the Apartment Owners Association, or excuse me, the Department Association, California, Southern Cities, I spoke about plumbing and maintenance and whatnot, and didn't have the understanding of the software. And it was at 9 or 10 p.m. at night, I was chatting and speaking on the phone with Johnny, not just through text, but picked up the phone, held my hand, walked me through what I need to walk through. It was good to know that he was in my corner there at the late hours, just like I am, at no additional cost. Good customer service. Thank you, Johnny.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're working hard. It's showing. We appreciate it. Okay, well let's close it out, everybody. Thanks for your time today. Next meeting will be on the third Tuesday again as normal. We just we wanted to give ourselves an extra week this month. Time is going by fast. We're already halfway through the year. Let's have a good second half of the year.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Say
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Vince.
bye, Vince.
Good meeting, Alan. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice talking with you.
4.